Yo, welcome back to the YouTube channel. So I'm jumping right into gameplay for
Cassidy.
Cassidy here on Brawlhalla, playing ranked
Three,
1v1.
two, one,
And yeah,
brawl.
hopefully you enjoy the gameplay. I believe I have three three matches in this gameplay. There's one of these Brawlhalla games that I recorded that only did two matches for some reason. So I gotta go back and record maybe a couple of more. And I think what I'm going to start doing is that I'm going to start maybe including maybe in four matches instead. Because with three matches, it's always around anywhere from like 10 to 15 minutes. Usually it's not more than 12 minutes actually. So 10 to 12 minutes, I would say, for three matches. But I think I want to make them a little bit longer, the videos, and or maybe not. Maybe I have it at the perfect length so that I don't put myself into a corner where I have to keep talking and not talking about anything. But yeah, a little information about Cassidy. Cassidy, she is the marshal of the Old West. She uses blasters and hammer. I don't typically use her all that often. The next legend I'm going to use is Lord Vrax, and I use him a little more. I think he's the one that I only got two matches for, so I gotta make sure that I record an extra match or two for him. But let's see. For Cassidy, I'm just gonna read off her history quick. When 15-year-old Cassidy Miller, oh wow, they got a last name for her. Anyways, captured Wild Zeb and his gang. Zeb insisted his gun jammed and the sun was in his eyes. But outlaws soon changed their tune, and just 5 years later, Bloody Cal Johnson bragged from prison that Utah had been forced to call in the great Marshal Cassidy just to bring him down. In a long career, Cassidy's insistence on justice for all earned for many unliked friends, including the meanest horse in the West, a giant cougar named Boots. But it also put her on the wrong side of the law when she joined the Underground Railroad and became a wanted fugitive herself. Later, Cassidy returned to law enforcement in dramatic style when President Lincoln begged her to track down the blood-fanged Rangers, a company of Confederate vampires. You're just going to stand behind me looking all... Okay, I'm trying to do this in a country accent, so don't judge me what I'm meant to say or how I'm meant to say this. You just going to stand behind me looking all fired, stupid, or are you going to draw? Yeah, I think that's the best I could do in that situation. It's sad because I'm from the South and I know I got a country accent, but I always try to do like an over dramatic country accent. So yeah, don't judge me. Cassidy, Valhalla is like any other frontier boomtown in need of her rough brand of justice. She's always on the lookout for suspicious types and reckons that trouble brews.
Victory.
Dang, can't believe I lost that game.
Player one.
Not after that great reading I just did. Yeah, so Vector, hopefully I win this one. I think I do win this one. Usually it takes me a while because I go into these pretty cold. So, well, really cold actually. So I just boot up the game. I don't do any practice matches anymore. And I just go straight into it. And yeah, whatever happens, happens, you know. So I try to win at least one of the few matches that I play. And yeah, usually it's always the second one. But the first one, I'm just kind of getting my bearings. Second one is when I actually get a good feeling for what I'm doing. But also, I'm probably gonna start playing Fortnite pretty soon because Fortnite's now back on the iPhone. If you don't know, and just kind of give you a little background on why it was off of the iPhone if you don't know. So Epic Games, they had a lawsuit against Apple, and Apple ended up terminating their stay on the App Store. They say it was because they violated terms of service, but I think we all kind of know the reason. Because Apple, you know, you don't want somebody to be on your platform when it is a private platform, and it's their platform, so they didn't want Epic Games on it. But after years, they've lost the lawsuit. So the judge deemed that it was anti-competitive for Apple to be doing what they were doing with Epic Games. So yeah, so now, long story short, Epic Games. This is, by the way, this is just a quick synopsis of it. This isn't all the legal jumbo of it, but yeah, this is just in layman's terms. So don't come at me because I'm not a legal expert. But yeah, so Epic Games is finally able to go back onto the, finally able to develop games again for the App Store, and it's actually a win for a lot of developers because Apple, they now have to allow third-party apps to be able to go to external payment sources. So if you don't know, before this lawsuit that Epic Games did, what happened is that Epic, they wanted to redirect people through like an external link to their Epic Games store instead of people buying the skins and all that on the through the App Store. Because if you don't know, Apple, they take a 30% cut of all revenue for applications on the App Store. So it's pretty standard, but it's been like that forever. Doesn't mean that it's right. Doesn't mean that it's the best thing. But with Google, they have a whole different system, which I don't want to get into right now. But yeah, specifically with Apple, they have a, sorry to interrupt myself, but yeah, so I ended up winning that game, which is great. Awesome. So yeah, with Apple, they take 30% of revenue share whenever any sort of in-app purchases happen. That's why if you ever notice, if you ever buy a subscription through the App Store, it is always 30% more expensive most of the time, because that is the company trying to cover that 30% cost that they have to pay to Apple once they make the purchase. So like Spotify, if you pay for Spotify through the App Store, it's like 30% more. Whereas if you go to the Spotify website on your phone and you just put in your payment information, you do it that way, it's cheaper, So yeah. So now Apple has to allow the third-party apps to provide an external link to their website or whatever payment method that they want. Apple has to allow them, the third-party app developers, to be able to put any sort of link or anything that they want into their app, including like Spotify. I think Spotify already jumped on it, but Spotify, any sort of third-party game or anything, they can all redirect customers to their website to be able to make a payment. And I can see where this can get a slippery slope, by the way, because there can be some bad actors out there, and they can make an app and redirect people to, stealing their information. And I see why Apple did it, but at the same time, as long as it's a verifiable, website or something like that, I think that's going to be okay. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, there's not going to be that many bad actors. Apple just has to do their due diligence. They just have to make sure that when they already are pretty strict on the App Store, especially when it comes to any sort of applications on there that are making money. But yeah, they just got to be a little more strict now in terms of like making sure that they vet these applications even better, and that there aren't any sort of bad actors on the App Store. So yeah, I'm gonna try to play Fortnite. I tried to play it last night, but it was having some issues with me screen recording, I guess. So I guess I'll try it again. Also, I need to buy a game controller for my for my phone, because yeah, it's just gaming with on-screen buttons is not going very well. So I was looking at Backbone, but Backbones, they tend to be more expensive. They're like $100, but yeah, so I may get like a cheaper option for a little while. It looks like there are some options that are cheaper but even better than Backbone is. So that's definitely something that I'll look into. But yeah, so be expecting Fortnite. Hopefully, you know, hopefully I'll be able to screen record that stuff and be able to put that online. I'll put that on my YouTube channel. Yeah, but I kind of think that's all I want to talk about in this particular video. I only got about a minute left. Trying to think what else I want to talk about. If there is anything else, I don't think there is at the moment. I think we are all good. But yeah, I'll let the rest of the gameplay, I guess, and I'll just talk to y'all in the next one. The next one's gonna be Lord Brax, so it's an alien. A little bit better with him, but like I said, I gotta probably record. Gotta actually record a extra gameplay with that. But other than that, I will talk to y'all later. Enjoy the rest of the 30 seconds of the gameplay.